Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday today. My apologies for coming at you early, but I got somewhere to be. I'm getting picked up in like half an hour, so it's crunch time. But I want to thank you for being here. Wendy and Isaac the cat are here. Mary Ellis is here. How are you today? Let's talk about our house guests of the day. We have Diane Schaefer and her pup, Violet Ray. So adorable. She did send a picture, and I can confirm she's as cute as button. We have John Carrito and his pup, Drogo. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Everybody in this list, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong because there are a few in here today that I'm not sure about. But Drogo, we wish a very speedy recovery because he did just have surgery and we want this sweet boy to be okay. So we are thinking of you. Viridiana and her boyfriend Wilfred, shout out. We've got Van Scott. He's been around a long time. Thank you for watching. And we also have, is it Naimi or Naimi from Qatar, which is so cool. Again, I'm sorry if I said her name wrong, but I just love hearing where you guys are watching from because I can't believe we're global. We're global. Very neat. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. We really, really appreciate you. So, last night was eviction night. Ava and Ashley were up on the block, and Morgan did not use the veto, and Vince evicted Ava. So we're down to our final three: Morgan, Ashley, and Vince. Did you guys think that this would be our final three? I didn't. Well, actually, it's interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch our cast video and see what we thought. I know for sure we were like, "Oh, Ashley, she's like one to beat." We had no idea what we were getting with Ashley. Is she what we expected? No, but we love her for other reasons. Morgan, I just remember her saying "gamer girl" like a million times during her interview, and us being like, "What is up with gamer girl?" And then Vince, I think we actually had good vibes about. Little did we know what a freaking weasel he was going to be. But I mean, look, he's in the final three. He made it to the final three. So we did get to see Ava's house meeting on last night's episode during her interview with Julie. I was very happy that Big Brother shared that with us because I was kind of worried it was going to get lost in the sauce. It did not appear to have any effect on this eviction. Ava still went home, but I'm wondering, is this going to affect who Morgan would potentially take to the final two if it is her decision? Because we already know she's having doubts about going to the end with Vince. She's wondering maybe I should go with Ashley instead. And I think maybe hearing all this info from Ava about how Vince has been playing people and he's a liar, I mean, that's just adding to her doubt, right? Uh-oh. So we'll see what happens there. But now that we have our final three, I just want to explain how this endgame works, just in case anybody here is new or needs a refresher. So there will be one more HOH this season, and that HOH will be determined by a three-part competition. So part one happened last night. Part one is usually an endurance competition, but not always. And whoever wins part one advances directly to part three. They do not pass go. They go directly to part three, which plays out live on finale night. So the next step is part two. So that's the two people who lost part one. This is usually a physical and mental competition that has something to do with like the events of the season or the days, something like that. And if you lose this competition, you cannot get to the final two yourself. You have to be taken there by somebody else because you're not competing for HOH anymore. So then part three, we have the winners from part one and part two facing off again live on finale night. And this is usually some sort of questions competition, a booth competition. It's kind of evolved over the years. It used to be more of a crapshoot. Like basically, they would play like a juror's statement partially, and you have to like decide how the juror was going to end that statement, which was not the most ideal because who knows what these jurors are going to say? Who knows if they're being honest in their answers? But it has evolved over the last few years to be questions about the jurors' games. So, like, this person won this many vetoes and blah, 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 that kind of thing. So, it's been a lot more fair and like merit based. So whoever wins that competition, whoever wins part 3 is the final HOH. They have won their spot in the final 2, and then they choose who joins them, who sits next to them. So it's a big deal. So the feeds came back late last night following part 1 of the final HOH. And it sounds like it might have been the one where they're standing on the little disc and they're like going around in a circle, hanging onto the rope. And I think it sounds like it was that one. And Morgan was the big winner. Is anyone surprised? You really shouldn't be at this point. I mean, she's been killing these competitions. So Morgan is very excited, but Morgan and Ashley were chatting in the wine room when the feeds came back. And they're talking about how there's this perception that's been going around the house that, Morgan and Vince are a showmance, and Morgan thinks that's ridiculous. She says Vince has a girlfriend of 7 years. I know, it is ridiculous that he would be carrying on this way when he has a girlfriend of 7 years, but here we are. Ashley says, there were times though when it looked like something was going on between you two. And, it was both of you involved. It wasn't just like one or the other. Like, it really seemed that way. She said, I'm just being honest. Like, that's what it looked like to all of us. And Morgan's like, well, we're just best friends. We're super close. I've been playing this game with him since day 3. I know he's an emotional person. He needs a lot of support, words of affirmation. So I'm doing that for him because I want to make him feel good about himself. I mean, he's my partner in this game. I want to help him in this game. And again, Morgan is saying, we're best friends. I'm waiting for her to say we're like brother and sister because that's always the kiss of death. But Ashley says, I know that's how you feel about the situation. And Ashley's like, visually, I'm just going to say it. She says, I wouldn't be surprised if in 3 months you guys were dating. Ah! I mean, I don't think it would take 3 months. If it's going to happen, I think it would be like 3 days, if even. But Morgan's like, again, like, I don't know, that's my bestie. Like, no, we're just besties. And Ashley says, Vince looks at you a certain way. She has picked up on that. And I mean, we've seen so many screenshots of Vince just being like googly eyed over Morgan. So, like, we see it. But Morgan says, I just feel like when you have your duo in this game, you're like, oh, my duo. And you love your duo so much. Does she really not see the reality of the situation of her and Vince? This does not just feel like some Big Brother Alliance duo. I can't imagine Dan and Memphis or Cody and Derek like waking each other up with arm strokes or like the endless long hugs. I don't think so. This is more than just human chemistry, baby. But also in this conversation, Morgan brought up being called a snake on day 3. We're still talking about the snake comment. I can almost guarantee you that this snake thing will be in Morgan's final 2 speech should she get there. She's gonna bring up the snake thing. And I will laugh when it happens. But Morgan is also talking about how she would love to get Rachel's jury vote. She just thinks it would be so cool to have a Big Brother legend vote for you to win. Yeah, put some respect on her name. But Ashley says, yeah, you will probably get Rachel's vote if you are in the final 2 against me. But maybe not if you're against Vince. I don't see Rachel voting for Vince. But Ashley, as we know, is trying to secure that final 2 spot. She is trying to make sure that Morgan would pick her over Vince. So Ashley says from what she's heard, Rachel's previous gameplay was very similar to what Vince has done this season with the lying and the backstabbing. That could not be further from the truth. They are all going off of information that came from Lauren because Lauren is one of the only people this season who saw Rachel's original seasons. The problem is when she saw them, she was like 6 or 7 years old. And she hasn't like rewatched them since. So like all of the information that she has is from when she was a literal child. and things got lost. I don't know if it was a game of telephone or what, but like this is not how Rachel played. Rachel was loud and loyal, very, very loyal. So yeah. Ashley again is just trying to secure that final two spot. She wants Morgan to pick her, of course. Okay. So then in other news, ugh, Vince was throwing a pity party for himself last night. I lost the comp. Wah. Everything's so out of my control. You beat me and everything. And Morgan is trying to freaking pump him back up because she wants him to fight hard to win in part two. Just the patience of this woman. To deal with his whining day after day, night after night, the Vorgan hours. It's a lot of work. So, like, this is going to be some well earned money if she wins this season. But yeah, she's trying to, like, keep him going. He's really upset. He feels like no one on the jury likes him. I mean, even when he leaves the house, he's worried that, like, the fans are not going to be welcoming him with open arms. I think Ava's whole exit really got to him with her like calling him out in the house meeting and then her being like, "Don't call me," and people like cheering that. Like they could hear the audience laughing at that. So yeah, I think it's getting to him quite a bit. But Vince is telling Morgan, "You don't know what it feels like. You don't know what it feels like to have everyone hate you. Everyone respects your game. They think you played this awesome game." And Morgan's reminding him again, "We are playing a game." And Vince says, "I know that, but I don't think everybody else does." Okay. It's a lot. I don't mean to laugh because it's a lot. But yeah. Vince also was talking about he really doesn't want to end up in third place. Sorry. He doesn't want to end up in third place. He says nobody remembers third place, and which is not true. Um if you're a memorable player, it doesn't matter where you went out. If you're a likable player, it doesn't matter. But like he's not really in that category. But yeah, he's worried that Morgan and Ashley will potentially take each other to the end and not him. So another highlight from overnight, Morgan learned last night that Vince just uses his hands to wash himself in the shower. No loofah, no like scrubby thing, no washcloth. So she was like, maybe that's why you smell. I think she was razzing him, but like, is there some truth to that? You got to use a washcloth or something. Oh my God. So she's telling him, you should use a washcloth. And he's like, I don't know how to use one. What? It's a freaking piece of fabric. It is a piece of fabric that you rub on your body with soap and water. Unbelievable. He's a 34-year-old man. So Morgan says she'll teach him. Is she gonna have to go in the shower with him and like hold his hand? And it's too much. It's really too much. All right. So today, Morgan was talking to the cameras in the bathroom and she's getting a bit nervous about the season ending. She's nervous what the public perception will be about her relationship with Vince. She feels like a narrative is being painted. Girl, you feel like a narrative is being painted? You mean the one being painted by you and Vince? Come on. They can't really be wondering like, "Oh my God, like what is everyone thinking?" Really? It's too much. But yeah, she's like, "I know what the truth is." So that's like all that matters. She also says, "At the end of the day, I came here to win. I didn't know anyone coming in here basically saying like, I don't owe anybody anything. Like, I'm here to collect." She says, "I'm going to do what I need to do to win." So it seems like she's still considering going to the end with Ashley if that is if that decision is up to her, right? If she wins that final HOH. So this is not some like case closed, she's taking Vince. Like there is a big chance that she could end up taking Ashley to the end. Interesting. I would love to see Morgan and Ashley in the end together. That would just be the best way to end the season at this point. I would love it. But also today, Ashley is working it. She's continuing to plant seeds with Morgan about how Vince has been lying to everyone all season. She's telling Morgan, people were really open with me about stuff because they didn't think that I was playing that hard. So they would just like dump all this info. And everybody was telling me how Vince would tell them what they wanted to hear. He made them feel so comfortable. And then he would turn around and stab them in the back. So she's really trying to make sure again that Morgan will want to go to the end with her and not Vince. Meanwhile, Vince is having another pity party, very similar to the one that we've already heard before over and over again. I'm 4 for 27 in comps. Everyone hates me. I'm terrified of getting third place. I wish I played the game that you played, Morgan. Oh boy. I love how this dude who literally won 4 HOHs is complaining about not winning enough comps. Would he be complaining like this if he had won the most comps out of anybody? Probably not, right? But because he is so close to Morgan and Morgan has won more, we're just never going to hear the end of it. So, yeah, he's still going with that. The good news is part 2 of the final HOH competition is happening right now. The feeds have been down for quite a while already, so hopefully we'll get some results soon. And again, it's it's Ashley versus Vince in part 2. Whoever wins this moves on to part 3 on finale night, and whoever loses, that's it for them, right? They have to wait and see if the final HOH will pick them to go to the end. They have no control at that point. They don't get to take themselves to the final 2. So, should be interesting. I don't know. If you guys want to check back later, I will post the winner in the description for this stream. And oh yeah, also programming notice, I'm going to be out of the office tomorrow. So I will be doing the last stream of the season on Sunday. And I will also talk about some of the highlights from tonight's episode. Yeah, just a reminder, we're also not going to be able to recap tonight's episode. What a mess. We honestly didn't think that this episode was going to be anything, but the fact that they're like showing the jury and stuff, we'll be talking about that on Sunday. But I want to thank you all so much for being here. I want to give a special thanks to our super chatters. So let's see who we got. Sean Davis, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And he says, I'm tired of the self-deprecating behavior from Vince. I know. It's not even like self-deprecating in a funny way, like a comedy way. It's just like making me really sad. He says it's exhausting and I just know Morgan wants to get away. Yeah. I don't know how she puts up with him. Thoughts on Amazing Race? It was a good first episode. Also, Kyland and Taylor showed how non-strategic they are. Okay, so it really was a fun first episode. I was enjoying it so much, seeing all these Big Brother people come back. Loved it. I do agree. I think that Kyland and Taylor made a big mistake. I agree with their point of like not picking somebody that they're already close with, like Hannah or Joseph. But I don't think you give it to Jag and his brother, right? Why would you give it to somebody who is already so strong? Like, I think you give it to somebody like Angela or Turner, who is also on Taylor's season. Or you give it to like, I don't know, Enzo and his brother, somebody who's not gonna be as good, maybe, potentially. But why give it to like one of the strongest competitors? That didn't make sense. But I am very excited for this season. Humane Vite, thank you so much for the super chat. And they said your daily reminder to vote Rachel for America's favorite player. Woo! For sure. I'm worried. I'm really worried that Keanu's gonna win because of the casual vote. But I hope it's gonna be Rachel. We still have until Sunday morning to get those votes in, so make sure you're voting every day. Thank you again. David Cushmore, thank you so much. David says Alien Earth takes place of Alien 1979 movie and Aliens 1986 based off the Alien movies. You have to watch it. Oh, okay. Thank you for the movie recommendation. I don't know if I can handle it. I haven't really watched the Alien movies. I'm not good with like scary type stuff, but I'll have to see if my husband is interested because he does like that kind of thing. But thank you for the movie recommendation and for the support. All right, guys, I really have to get going. I got to get ready real quick before I get picked up. So thank you for being here. I did hear that Claire and Derek split, and that made me really sad because I like them as a couple. But it seems like it's amicable amicable. So amicable. So I'm happy for them that they're, in a good place. But thank you guys. I will see you soon. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.